Hey guys, so before starting the video, I have an announcement to make. We are hosting an international giveaway for the first time in collaboration with Versus.com and Mike O'Brien, where we will be giving away not just one but three smartphones, which include the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and the OnePlus 9 Pro. Participating is very easy. Just click the link given in the description and follow the instruction to win a brand new smartphone. So hurry up and don't miss out on this amazing opportunity. And while you're here, also do not forget to check out our partner's YouTube channel. So good luck to everyone. Hello and namaste guys, Pratima here from Gadget Byte. Today I have with me Samsung's latest mid-range TV called the AU7700. The new AU series is the successor of the TU lineup from last year, which was a decent 4K TV at a mid-range price. So this one is also worth a shot this time. By the way, you can choose this TV in 5 screen sizes, that is 43, 50, 55, 65 and 70 inches. And with me I have the 55-inch model, which retails for some 1,30,000 here in Nepal and 69,990 rupees in India. So let's see if the new AU7700 is a worthwhile addition to your living room. Okay, starting with the design, the AU7700 looks exactly like something you would expect from a fairly mid-range TV in 2021. A plastic bag, minimal bezels, and a stand. Thus, I won't say that this TV will win any beauty prizes, but it looks premium and is well built as well. The bezels surrounding the screen are of minimal thickness and are not distracting either. Similarly, the AU7700 is not as thin as OLED TVs, which we obviously were not anticipating, but the back design is minimal as well. It features a characteristic textured finish and an arced form factor, which avoids the expense of a back bulge to house the connectivity ports. Talking of ports, the input and output options include one USB Type-A, 3 HDMIs, one of which supports EARC, and one antenna port on the back roof. Additionally, there's an Ethernet connection patched independently on the right of other sources. Holding the TV in its place are the Y-shaped legs that have a plastic build. What's easy here is that you can just snap the legs into the unit and assemble it. No hassle with screws or any other fancy tools. And of course, if you want to wall mount it, it's entirely possible as well. But you're gonna have to purchase the mounting bracket separately since Samsung does not provide one inside the box. On the other hand, if I had to assess the base strength to hold the TV, I'd give it like a 3.5 out of 5. That's because even with a gentle knock, the TV wobbles quite a bit. Hence, I wish Samsung had included a metal stand here, just like what Panasonic did in its HX750 series, which we recently reviewed. Moreover, the lone physical control button is located below the company's logo in the bottom bezel. With it, you can navigate between the power, volume control, and other simple toggles. Also, the bottom section is housed to 2 downward firing speakers, which I'll talk more about in the audio section of this review. Okay, like in last year's TU8000 series, Samsung has continued the cable management design onto this TV as well. These are the horizontal passages that run from edge to edge and hold all of the cables that are connected to the TV for a clean setup. In addition, the company also provides clips to secure the wires onto the leg stand for a more aesthetically pleasing appearance. Moving on to the display, like I mentioned earlier, the AU7700 we have here is a 55 inches model with 4K resolution and a refresh rate of 60 Hz. It has the per color technology, which according to Samsung allows the TV to express a wide spectrum of colors for optimal picture performance and an immersive viewing experience. Also, let me add a small note here that none of the Samsung TVs support Dolby Vision. Instead, they opt for open source HDR10 Plus format, so if you're looking for a Samsung TV with Dolby Vision, you will always come up short. Regardless, since this panel supports HDR10 Plus, the color and contrast reproduction are pretty great here. But the default settings do require some tweaks to get the most out of it, so I always ensured that the brightness was set to maximum, the contrast in the range of 35 to 40, and sharpness around 5 or 6. While that was something of my personal preference, the TV also has built-in picture modes. Here, the natural mode works with most of the content types. Under this, the shadow details look good, while the panel offers a good color tone for watching content as well. It delivers blacker blacks, so watching a mix of bright and dark content looks good in this mode. As for the viewing angles, everything is pretty standard here, so you don't have to compromise on the TV's contrast and saturation levels while looking at it from the sides. Moving on, Samsung provides a particular feature for action-heavy content and motion processing. Called the Motion Accelerator, it reduces picture shake on the screen. To enable it, you need to go to the picture clarity settings and increase the judder level depending on the content. Usually I set it to 8 or 9. What it does is use motion interpolation or black frame insertion to artificially add frames in between the set fast-paced content, resulting in a comparatively smooth viewing experience. However, I used it only when watching sports and action scenes. Turning it on for movies adds unnecessary smoothness, which affects the whole experience for someone who enjoys content on their original, such as me. Now, if you are an avid gamer and wish to couple your TV with a console, then Samsung AU7700's game mode is something to cherish for as well. It reduces input lag found in normal mode and also optimizes motion blur and judder whenever the TV detects a viable input source. Okay, heading on to the software side of things, Samsung's Tizen OS has not changed much compared to last year. We already know that it has one of the best UI and UX design and a clean aesthetic. And with a little exploring, you will be familiar with this operating system rather easily as well. Powering the TV is the same Crystal 4K processor as last year, which promises to deliver lifelike colors thanks to its sophisticated color mapping technology. But I was a little disappointed that they have not updated the processor this time. Hence, navigating through various apps and features is not as seamless, and there are visible delays or lags too. To compare, we hadn't faced any such issue with last year's TU8000, so it's a bit of a letdown for me. Anyway, the Tizen platform comes pre-installed with decent selection of apps that you can use right after turning on the TV. Netflix, Amazon Prime, and YouTube are among the streaming services readily available, while you can add other applications from the App Store. One small detail I love about this is that it categorizes apps into different sections for easy browsing. Okay, voice control is another feature that I could not miss out here. Unfortunately, in South Asian markets like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, it only supports Bixby Voice Assistant, whereas the Indian market enjoys Google Assistant and Alexa support as well. Regardless, Bixby does not leave any space for complaining. It can easily adjust different TV settings and is pretty spot on in terms of voice recognition and responsiveness. There are a couple of more features worth mentioning on the AU7700. It has window sharing, Samsung DeX, and Apple's AirPlay support, although it lacks Chromecast support. Here you can stream content from your iPhone, MacBook, or other Apple devices to the TV. Similarly, window sharing is used to screencast PC, while DeX extends a Samsung smartphone or tablet into a desktop computing experience. From students, teachers, to business professionals, these features can come in handy to cast presentation slides or other similar documents on the large screen. Talking about the remote, the AU7700 ships its remote with a slim and slender profile that houses only the most necessary buttons. But this time around, Samsung has used recyclable material for its construction. While it ultimately does not feel as premium as the remote on the TU8000, we wholeheartedly endorse this decision. Using the voice control button, you can make in-app searches on YouTube as well. What I also like about Samsung's One Remote is that it can double as a remote for your cable operator set-top box as well. Okay, getting to the audio, Samsung's AU7700 is pretty great. It comes with two 2CH 20-watt bottom-firing speakers that support Dolby Digital Plus. However, DTS support goes missing on this TV. Quality-wise, the dialogues sound clear and the audio can get loud enough to fill a small to medium-sized room. Additionally, the audio does not distort at the highest volumes either. The AU7700 also has 3 audio profiles to choose from. Standard is the default setting, with the other 2 options being adaptive and amplified. The standard mode is not as deep as I'd want it to be and lacks the punchiness I crave for. Looping the modes, I enjoyed the adaptive mode's added wallop, which finds a decent mix between low frequencies without sacrificing clarity in the mix. Still and all, if you desire window rattling bass, you're gonna need a separate home theater system. Now, if you opt for a soundbar instead, Samsung's Q Symphony is something you should know about. Basically, it lets you route audio from the TV speakers and the soundbar at the same time to deliver spatial audio. Further adding to the appeal of this 4K TV is Samsung's Tune Station. It's just an app that you need to download from the app gallery, which converts your TV into a virtual speaker system. From this, you can play music from your smartphone or a USB stick on the TV. Similarly, the Tune Station also lets you personalize backdrops from a wide assortment of artworks. Overall, using the Samsung AU7700 for a couple of weeks or so has been a time well spent for me. The narrow bezels, along with excellent picture quality and impressive sound quality, makes for a really enjoyable watching experience. Still, it does have a few flaws of its own, including the not-so-smooth interface, which can get annoying for some. So that was our take on Samsung's latest AU7700 TV, and by the way, I also have the 75-inch version of AU8000 series on my studio, whose review will be out soon, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in my next video.